And that's the sound you'll each hear when we're in record, and then you'll hear recording stopped when we stop that. So in the spirit of reconciliation, Hayter Institute of Education acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. We recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people as the first inhabitants of this nation and the traditional custodians of the land on which we work, live and study. We express our gratitude for the sharing of this land, our sorrow for the personal, spiritual and cultural costs of that sharing, and hope that we may move forward together in harmony and in the spirit of healing. We pay our respect to all First Nations people and acknowledge elders past, present and emerging. So tonight we'll have a look at how the classes are structured, expectations and practices of what happens in our classes, what to expect when you're studying at Hayter. We'll have a look at assessments and we'll talk about where you go to for support. So first of all, sometimes when you're coming into study, it actually can be a little bit, you can feel unsure, a little bit nervous or overwhelmed. That's okay. We're going to be here to support you. Your peers as well along the way will support, but those sort of feelings are natural until you get settled into and feel a part of the process of what's happening. So at the beginning of every session, we'll do what we call housekeeping. So these are reminders around our expectations for our classes. So usually I have a different screen that'll come up much clearer when I have my ordinary session. But your class participation is around, you'll have your monitor on, your video and your speakers off whilst I'm presenting. And you can use what they call the hand emoji to put your hand up to ask a question. Rosie, would you be able to do that to demonstrate what that looks like, please? Now, the emotions are down the bottom on the black bar, and I think they're either called, what are they called, Kathleen? Emotions or widgets?
Just called reactions.
Reactions, they're the ones, yep. So in reactions, you'll see a hand, and you can tick that hand and it comes up like you can see on Rosie's screen. And then you can go back and click it off to say hand down. And that lets me know that somebody's asking a question. There you go, Daniela's got it. Well done. So that's a respectful way, when I'm presenting and you want to know something, I'll get to that and see you and ask you. And I'll also, when I'm presenting, stop and we'll have question time as well. We have respectful relationships here in our classes, and that's about listening. Think about our professional boundaries of when we're sharing. So if you're sharing, actually make it something that's not related to names or places. Just give it a very wide idea around what you're talking about. And also thanking people if they've given you responses and being kind and respectful. So we also have class break times, one at 7 and one at 8 p.m. for 10 minutes each. And the classes range from just on 3 hours. We have 2 breaks, and we'll also have time where we might be watching a video or doing what we call breakout rooms. And that's where you'll go and do an activity with your peers. And that's not recorded in that work area. That's your space to work in with your peers. And don't forget, also too, there's no vaping or smoking on screen, please. Or if you're eating, please turn your screen off, and no children on board on camera as well. That's out of their privacy and confidentiality for them. Right. Whoop. Click over. Now, so assessments. There's a few different types of ways we do assessments here. We have online quizzes, we have case studies, research projects, role plays, and practical assessments. So some role plays will need to be completed in front of a live assessor. That means you'll do that in front of one of the trainers here at HADA, and they'll be organised with that trainer to do. Other role plays can be done with friends, work colleagues, your peers here in the class, and we'll talk more as we go along around role plays and the expectations of those. Often with a course placement component in that will happen towards the end of your subject. Usually you have to have about 60% done of your learning before you can go on a placement. All right, so assessments. You can also have an extension if you need more time. So each module starts for around, there's usually 2 to 3 sessions that you come to class or receive a recording for. After that 3 weeks, a new module starts the following week, but you still have 4 weeks from that 3 weeks to complete your assessments within. So the cycle is a 6 or a 7 week cycle. So if you've only got classes for 2 weeks on a certain subject, you'll then still have 4 weeks to do your assessments within. But don't forget, this is a rolling cycle of modules. So every 2 to 3 weeks, there is a new topic, a new subject. Your assessments can catch up quite quickly. So sometimes you need an extension of time. Other times you can reach out and work with a learning support, have a learning support session through what we call Calendly. So that should be in your learner portal. And that's where you can access a trainer for 30 minutes. And those sessions you can unpack questions, do role plays in. If you need a longer session, you can book 2 sessions together. But if you're needing support for something, reach out. You can even let me know that you need some support with something, and we can organise a trainer right across the week that can support you. And you can have those sessions and one-on-one, and they usually do it by Zoom or a phone call. So when you're working with some of your assessments, if it asks you to reference your work and you don't know how to do referencing, please follow this system of, if you just say you're working on something from Beyond Blue. So put Beyond Blue accessed on the date, and then copy the URL in the search engine and put it next to it. That way we know you've gone to somewhere reputable to get your evidence from. That's only if you need to reference. Just referencing Beyond Blue is not enough to show that you've actually been there. So by having the address of it on the online actually shows us that you closely get avoiding that plagiarism. All right, so you're showing us you've actually accessed that and you've utilized it correctly. If you know how to do APA 6, or if you do Oxford, there's all different types of referencing, but APA 6 is one of the easier ones. There's actually it's called Red Book, and it actually has a website where you can put the information in for your references, and it brings it out all set up as a reference list for you. So we can talk about that more later if you need some assistance with that. So the courses at HADA, it's a unique approach where you join everybody new at the beginning of each subject, like we've said earlier tonight. So every subject comes in, you're all fresh to the subject. Even though you might be here for a few months, each new module is fresh to everybody. So that allows that flexibility right across the board. If you have a life event that will take you away from your studies, you do have the right to ask for a deferral. And deferral can be from 2 to 3 months. And that just stops your learning where it is. You don't accumulate any other tasks or other role plays and things like that. They just will stop where you are, and then you enter back into what module is happening at that time, and then you'll keep rolling. That time frame is put onto the end of your course. So you can make an appointment, as I said, with trainers right across the board. For myself, I mainly work Thursdays and Fridays for Learning Support Reach Out. Alafale, you're asking a question? You've got to put your sound on.
Yeah, with the learning material,
Yes.
how long do we have access to that?
Once it's become available, you have it all the time.
Oh, okay.
They don't go away when the subject finishes. You have access to those resources. So you will see in your learner portal where your assessments and your resources will start to get larger and larger after every module. And you have access to those. And we might do a demonstration of how to do that at the end of the session. I'll show you how we'll use. Rosie, are you good at doing Accelerate, searching for resources and things like that?
Yeah, I'm not too bad.
Okay, so we'll just do a real quick demonstration at the end of the session, if that's all right with you.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, so if you're having any problems accelerating your resources too, here is an address, lso@haiderinstitute.edu.au. You can talk to them about any issues that you're having accessing your assessments, your resources, or a tech issue, and they can help you sort it out as well.
Thank you.
So we try to provide a professional, supportive, and safe learning environment here for you. And we want you to reach out if you need support. So there's a learner handbook in your resources as well. But I'm happy for you to reach out to myself, and that is and I'll put that in the chat so you can have a look at that, and you can email me and ask me questions. And if I need to get you support, I will. Or if you need direction or guidance, I can show you with that. If it's a small question, it's a bigger one, we'll make a time to have a study session and work through things as well. All right. So thanks for being with us whilst we've done our intro to the new subject. I'm just going to press pause here. So let's just recap. Welcome to CHCPRP001, develop and maintain networks and collaborative partnerships. So a collaboration is where you will network with organizations in your community, and that collaboration can actually collect a whole area of different resources to the organization you're in. So your people that you're working with, you can offer them more services with other agencies that are connected with your agency. So that helps you fill the needs and the gaps of clients as well. So this is what our housekeeping looks like. It's probably easier to read than what you could look at the other one. And this is around our break times, and often too, different content might have a trigger warning. And that's about where you need to reach out and talk to somebody if something stirred emotions for you in the content. This content's about collaboration and network and communication. So hopefully everybody will be fine as we go along with the content. So session 1, this is what we'll be looking at. The types of networks. So that could be an organization, a professional network, a virtual network. We're all part of a virtual learning network. Formal and informal learning, and how to access and utilize network opportunities. So with your types of collaboration, they have the same type of organizational, professional, and virtual areas that you can collaborate on. Then we'll look at how we're working collaboratively with organizations, and how we implement and monitor and review our work as we go along. And the principles of networking and sharing is about that sharing and openness and trust and honesty that we formulate in our network relationships. And the benefits of networking, that benefits our clients, more resources for our clients to be able to access, for workers to be able to expand their information and knowledge, for the organization itself to have a partner organization that then brings more resources together in one area for a community. And we'll also have a look at some of the drawbacks of collaboration and networking, but there's not many. It's really only about the access to resources, and if actually people are working together on a common cause. So networking. Now, this is in chapter 1.2 of your learner guide, so you can keep directed to where we're heading. So every organization has its limits, and whether they are set up by a mission, values, and vision statement of an organization, or are limiting factors such as expertise and budget and location. So there may be times when your organization on its own cannot provide for the needs of your clients. Being able to reach out to other organizations provides additional services and expertise in different areas that your service mightn't provide. So this will actually improve productivity around what's happening in the community. And if your organization stands out uniquely from another's, but you network together, you can actually reduce duplicating group work, counseling, and offer something quite unique. So then you become a service of need for the community in a bigger way. So the benefits of working collaborative. So with improved access to a range of services that meets your participants' needs, that continuity of service and the ability to adjust and bend and flow is quite important. So we share resources, but we also look at a holistic method of filling clients' needs. We share resources with each other, so we can actually even share workers at times if need to. And giving clients different pathways and referrals actually enhances your service evaluations that come back, that you've been able to widely support this person in a holistic way. Even though your services might be doing A and B, you've now been able to fill the gap of C and D. that client is more likely, or participant is more likely to be more connected to your organization and grateful that you're actually making a holistic approach here. But if you're networking collaboratively with somebody else in the organizations, you have to have strategic thinking. What purpose will you have to network with somebody else? How will it benefit our organization, our workers, our participants? How can we benefit you by networking and collaborating with you with our knowledge and resources? And that's how it's called reciprocal sharing. So, excuse me. All right. So professional networking is about giving to get and involves sharing your knowledge and influence, uncovering job opportunities along the way. You could obtain referrals from somebody else. You could also gain interview practice around working with other units, other organizations. You could learn about another organization's positions that are coming up too. So you might be able to work in the industry in another organization as well. Don't forget you're making new contacts, and there could also be professional relationships here. Kath?
Yeah, sorry. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm finding that really blurry to read. The print. Oh, what did you do then? That's a bit better. Yep, that's a bit better. Thanks.
Oh, okay.
Thanks. That's
Okay.
better, yeah.
Yep, no worries. All right. All right. So what is networking? I want you to brainstorm what is networking, and we're going to go to breakout rooms. So for some of you, it's your first time. And let me just copy that question and I'll put it in the chat for you. It's not going to work. Oh. All right. Now you can research what networking is. No worries, Keisha. I'll take note of that for you. You can think about how you would network in the community services. This is where I want you to be heading. And think about you could be networking with charities and volunteering, support after crisis, all these different areas. But what does networking mean to you? So let me just stop share there. I'm just going to pause. Okay. I think nearly everybody's back. Yep. Hello, Ben.
Hello. Oh, oops.
How goes the work?
Oh, we were number one, weren't we?
How goes the work?
What we just did?
Sorry?
You mean in the breakout room?
No. I meant your new work.
The first week was a bit challenging and up in the air, but the last week was awesome. Actually, it was really good.
Excellent.
I got a lot of feedback from the person I'm working with, and it was all really positive. And yeah, I think the last couple support workers she had were not doing their job very well.
Mm.
So I was actually like Friday when I got home was probably one of the most satisfied feelings. It was probably the most satisfied feeling I've ever had from work before in my life.
Wow.
So it's pretty challenging with what I'm dealing with, but it appears that I've dealt with it all pretty well, and yeah, the lady's really open and honest with me and able to talk about lots of stuff. And for me, who's sometimes a bit up and down, to be told I have a calming effect on someone is unusual, but good to hear.
So that's great. Good work. Good on
Yeah,
you.
that was really good.
Excellent. So you had Keisha and Zoe with you. Are you representing to group or?
It was just Zoe. I don't.
Oh, okay.
He did just say Zoe and I at the start, so I don't know about Keisha, but yes, I said I would talk. So Zoe had said that about like making connections and maintaining relationships to keep the connections is important. And I sort of thought that networking to me is creating like a broader knowledge of skills or services to draw from, either for yourself to learn from, which will help the person you're working with, and also for the client, so you're able to help them better and or offer them more things.
Excellent. Good
And
work.
That was pretty much it.
Good work. Covered a lot. Well done. All right. Thank you. Room 2, Carmen and Kath.
Kath, you're on mute.
Yeah.
I'll start while she's figuring out how to unmute herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had a great chat. We figured out that we're actually both scuba divers, which is a fun fact to know before we get into what we're actually doing. So we had a great old chat with each other.
Excellent. Excellent.
We did say about obviously building relationships and networking, sharing lots of different information between and resources between organizations, collaboration and partnerships, which links in with, building relationships. What else? We said a big one also was community engagement. So if you're networking, facilitates community engagement and involvement by connecting organizations with community members and stakeholders.
Excellent. Good
Did you
work.
say, yeah, and enhancing by building relationships, it enhances sort of resilience and strength of around particular issues. I don't know if you said
Yes.
that. Thanks. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's great. And can I suggest too, when you're in group rooms, if you're going to even look at doing study groups together, have a study buddy, that's a great place to discuss those things there as well. Just a hint for next time. Good work, guys. Thank you. Room 3, Kathleen, Christy, and Mark.
I offered Christy and Mark the opportunity to speak, but I'm practicing my public speaking. Ellen understands that quite well, so does Bronte. So the contributions that we had were being part of social events and charity events, finding unadvertised jobs. Actually, Mark might want to explain that a little bit more.
Oh, good hand over there, Kathleen.
That's put me on the spot, isn't it? Yeah, just networking with people, obviously with different community organisations. You might find something that's unadvertised, basically. Yeah, through speaking, yeah, getting the word around. What else do I have? Yeah, that's about it.
So then there's going to conferences and other get-togethers with other community service organisations, having your business card on you,
Yes.
and exchanging those where appropriate at conferences, and talking with current stakeholders. Now, that was also one of yours, Mark. Come on.
You're enjoying this, aren't you?
Yeah, loving it.
And I can practice my public speaking now.
Come on,
Yeah,
talk with current-
just networking basically with different organisations. Yeah.
I
Client,
think
yeah,
I'll relieve you. Sorry.
it's certainly that networking is crucial around just building your own relationships and but getting connected with stakeholders of organizations, have a bit more pull around organizations. There you might get more information out of them at a higher level as well. So then they could end up being a prospective employer. And if you're working well with them, job opportunities could come your way.
See, that was
Wow.
gold, Mark. So the other one is developing referral opportunities by getting info from your current clients and family and carers about other services that might be being provided to a particular client, which are helpful, and you don't know about them, so you can find out the details of them and send a nice official letter asking whether or not they would be able to, they would be willing to accept referrals
Yep.
from your clients, and contacting other service providers. If you're in a bit of a bind about something, contact someone you might think is appropriate. Stay in touch with the local council, and being a member of the ACWA for leads.
Can you explain what that is?
So the
Please?
ACWA is the Australian Community Workers Association, and students can join the ACWA, and it gives out, it has a monthly newsletter, and in that newsletter there's information basically about community services, and you can find contacts, and they advertise conferences and upcoming events. I'm just not sure, Helen, do they also provide CPD?
Yes, you can have credits come over from attending any talks and webinars as well. So if you have like with some roles, you might have to have an insurance indemnity, and often they'll actually have a requirement where you need to gather credit points towards a certain number per year that they expect you to keep upskilling for. So as for instance, the Australian Association of Social Workers, there's so many credit points that we must get to keep ourselves upskilled. And you get a point for turning a webinar, or 2 points to going to a conference and things like that. And you might have to reach, say, 8 or 9 per year. There's all different levels. Certain organizations have expectations for you to upskill a year, but they also might provide that for you as well. But yes, but the Australian Community Workers Association, get on there and join to get their newsletter. Often they have jobs come out there as well, but a great place to have networking.
I think CPD for community workers is 20 hours a year.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you think you might do a webinar, because sometimes they go by points or they go by hours, but even webinars, most of them are an hour to an hour and a half at least. And that's just done in your own home. So you can accumulate these quite quickly. If you do a small, short course, there's 5 or 6 hours done. So it can happen quickly. Thank you. Great work. All right, room 4. Jacinta, Crystal, and Philip.
Hi, Helen. Hi, group. Yeah, basically with Jacinta and Crystal talking about networking, which we end up going into a networking session, asking questions and collaborations like in that actual session and that. So Crystal talked about like a sort of collaborations with clients and other services to basically it might be that if we've come across a particular problem or a gap by networking with other community services or organisations, you might be able to come up with the solution to that problem. So it might be just an answer that you're looking for that's not within your own particular service. And that we went on to just basically conversations about what we did, like go for professional development and like even here in study sort of thing stuff, how we're collaborating now.
Exactly. Glad you could bring that up. Good work. Thank you. These different perspectives are important for everyone to hear because everyone has a different view of something. And with all those views together, when we collaborate those together and we have a collective, we have more knowledge together. Thank you. Room 5, George, Karen, Michael, and Sarah.
Hello. Yeah, so I nominated myself. It was it was me, Michael, and George. So
Okay.
yeah, so we pretty much just did it down to coming together as networking, is to be sharing experiences and ideas with others and gaining knowledge, especially with the benefits of individuals as well when it comes to networking with other organizations, trying to make sure they have the perfect fit as well for their needs. And just pretty much just sharing ideas with the other organizations. We have all come to agree to that pretty much. Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
Good work. Thank you. All right. Room 6, Lauren, Patience, and Zachary.
I was by myself though.
Oh, were you again? Oh, Patience. No. How did that happen?
I don't know.
Oh.
The person came up, but they can't show themselves. And I'm saying hello, hello. Nobody say words.
Oh, because I was looking for the green buttons and it showed somebody else was there, but
yeah,
yeah.
but it's all right.
Oh my gosh, 2 weeks in a row. We've got to make sure next week that does not happen.
Yeah, so what I come up to, it was like networking is where it helps to connect organizations together and to understand what is on the field, and networking help for not just the client, but it's help the workers, the volunteers, and even the client as well, to impact them and to make sure that they understand each other, so that connection is there and they it helped to actually bring the best out of the community, and they work together as a community in the network.
Very good. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And that's a very good way to look at things, to be able to work with
Yeah.
crisis as well.
Yeah.
For intervention into communities as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now,
Mm.
I'll have to teach you how to do text out of the breakout rooms to say, Helen, I'm on my own again. So I can
Okay.
put you in a room with somebody, okay?
All right.
Can't have that happen.
Okay.
All right, room
Mm.
7, Bronte, Christine, and Yana.
Helen, it was just myself and Yana.
Okay.
So, you know, having been in sales and whatever, I've a bit of an old hand at networking, to be honest with you. But I think how I would apply it to the community services environment, if you like, is that, you know, networking to me is going into, you know, a group of people and schmoozing them and really trying to identify who's got money. And and in this particular kind of scenario, you're working for a community services organization, and you know, usually the people that have money that are kind of looking for where am I going to spend it are foundations. So how it seems to work is that a lot of the big corporates like Westpac or Lend-Lease or any of these guys, they all sort of shelve off their money into a foundation, okay? And that's for their, you know, corporate social responsibility or philanthropy or whatever, okay? It's also a bit of a tax dodge, to be perfectly honest with you. But those are the sorts of people that I would be trying to network with, and really you need to be very assertive, you know, in a nice sort of a conversational manager, be able to do the pitch, so to speak, very quickly and get your point across about what your organization has achieved in terms of, let's say, for example, it might be mental health. It's dealing with people that have, you know, addiction problems and whatever, and how you've managed to, you know, work with people and get them on the right path towards recovery and whatnot. So that for me is sort of my experience of networking, and I could see it applying very well here, but also sort of in a situation where you're networking to sort of organizations that have a similar, how do you say, objective as yourself, but that you might be able to share. Look, let's say, for example, it might be a disability services organization you're working for, and you know, you're talking to somebody who offers, for example, music therapy, like, you know, so it might be a much smaller organization or even a one-man band or whatever, but you're bringing this person in to be able to offer their services within your organization. Yeah,
Definitely. Yeah, thank you. Good to hear about your experiences about networking too in the corporate area. And
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you, Christine. Annie and Georgie.
Yes, hello. You made it really hard. I don't know what else I can really add to this now. We mainly just spoke about connecting people together, giving people more opportunities, and like helping them achieve their goals. And mainly everything else was said.
I like that you bring up achieving their goals. Nobody said that tonight. All right, you've said that, you two said that, so that's very unique. That's actually quite huge in the respect of, if you can help somebody achieve their goals, you're helping create change.
Yes.
So even though you think you had something else nearly all the same as everybody else, you stand out with one bold statement. Used to. Good work, Annie. Excellent, thank you. Room 9, Alafale, Nathan, and Rosie.
So same as Georgie, really, like most things that we discussed have been covered. But we just sort of said that it was such a huge topic, networking, and you could break it down into like different branches. You're looking at, you know, networking. We talked about sort of in the community and networking within the organisation, which I think we sort of repeats the point that Pastor said. Just like if you've got that networking within the organisation, it helps to increase the morale and the service provision generally. And networking sort of outside the organisation, just ensuring that you're like looking at that holistic care component, that you're bringing in all those services that you need for that particular client, and to make sure that they're supporting you professionally if it's somewhere where you're not overly confident or competent. So it's just making sure you're covering all those bases. That's kind of what we talked about. And community engagement, bringing the community together and planning those events and the activities within other organisations to maintain those relationships.
Okay.
Yeah,
you get an
everything.
A. You passed.
But probably said what everybody else has said.
No, look, that community engagement part is really crucial here too. So
that came from Nathan.
In everything that we've heard tonight, there's things that actually wrap it together. And that's that holistic approach and how we're sharing and being open with our communication, and being okay to make change and bring in different ways and meeting new people, having different ideas, sharing different ideas. This is what we're doing here tonight. It's great work. Viola, were you still here? She might not be. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Look, time for a break. It's 7:14 now. We'll come back at 7:25. Have 10 minutes. Thank you. Carmen.
I sent you an email, Helen.
Yeah, sorry. I know you kept trying to get in there, but
No, it's just that one that I need to do, but I sent you an email, and I figure if I don't get it done for another month or two, it doesn't really matter. I'm only available every second Thursday. So I'll get it done when I get it done.
okay, all right.
The others I'm up to date with. So it's just that one sitting there.
Yep, okay. So the 9th doesn't work, or
I can't do it nighttime because my husband's always away and I've got the little one. So it has to be during the day. But as I said, I've sent you an email. So if I can get in with a tutor, then I'm happy to do that if I need to.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, Carmen. It was a real it got busy. I couldn't get to you.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay. All right. Right. So Nathan. Oh, yes, Nathan. I did get your email, Nathan. And I'll answer you later on tonight, Nathan. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry, mate. I just, been a bit hectic.
Yeah, that's, I guess, what you guys get being trainers.
Yeah. All right. I will get back to that. And I think you put in your email about having doing a role play too, wasn't it?
It was just that role play with the assessor that I needed to do.
Yeah. Was that the COM002, or was that the a different subject?
I think it was this CH whatever 002.
Yeah, okay, all right. So it's possibly that one there for you too. All right, I will let you know and I'll email you. Right. Okay, let's get back to presenting. All right. Now, also too, I wanted to also bring up Danielle actually gave some information around networking as well. And Danielle's said that I think networking is about going into people's homes and seeing what organizations need to be involved and set goals and communicate with other organizations to get the best, let me see, the best possible help needed for people. But you cannot have too many organizations in place, as some people can get overwhelmed with too many services up on top of it. Yes, that's very true. And that can actually upset somebody where they've got too much information and services coming at them at once. So good point there, Danielle. All right, face-to-face networking. Some of those opportunities there, I think we've actually talked about tonight in our group discussions there, and you've nominated some of these. So good job, work done. So let's have a look. Oops, get that out of the way. You've got face-to-work networking up, opportunities and events. You can do share table and during workshops. So is that any clearer? Hang on, let me see. Is that any clearer, Christy? Okay. And benefits and resources, we've all been talking about that, but it's about being proactive as well. It certainly benefits everybody when you're proactive. Right, that should work better. So let's have a look at team development. This will be in your assessment task here as well. And so the stages of team development are forming, and that's where the team, where you're just meeting each other, getting to know each other, learning what each other does, learning different styles, sharing details, which is a bit like what's happening here now in the chat. We're just forming. Storming is where you share ideas, you're getting things happening, you're looking at opportunities, you're looking at different help and support in different stages and different planning times. And often too, this is where sometimes conflict of interest might come into play, where it actually identifies differences of values and beliefs as well. Norming. The teams have figured out at this stage where they are with each other. They know where they fit. They know how to work together. They know how they operate together. And they start to share those responsibilities and goals. And when you have clear goals set for each organization and each worker in those, that actually sets out more identification of where you fit. Kath? No? Okay. Now, in the performing stage, we look at a high level of cohesion here. This is where we're making things happen.
Sorry.
Sorry,
It's
yeah,
Kath.
Kath. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just struggling here. I can only see you. I can't see the screen.
Oh, okay.
That you're projecting.
Okay, so that's
So I
you
don't know
can't
what
you can't see the PowerPoint at all.
I can see. It's a tiny little screen just up above you, but all I can see is
so
you.
So you need to flip the picture over to the PowerPoint, I think.
How do I do that?
Let me see.
Kath, just slide your screen across, like just sliding, like click on it once, and then you should be able to slide it across like you're looking at a photo.
Oh. Oh yeah. Oh, it's moved, but it's still small. I don't know what I'm doing. Sorry.
So the other way to do it might be to go to the top right corner of your screen where it says view.
And three little buttons.
And there's a button, there's buttons there that indicate how much of the screen you can see. Now there's one there that's got a rectangular block on the left side, and then it's got three little dots.
Yeah.
Click on that one.
Perfect. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Okay.
Kathleen takes bank card and Visa. She's available in between the hours at 7 and 7:05.
I'm just showing how clever I am just because I know one computer trick.
Love this. This is networking. This is great work. This is great work. All right. Now, that actually just shows our team how we're performing. We've already been through the storming and the norming. We're now performing. So well done. We're looking at cohesion, team members supporting each other. We're there trying to get the most efficiency. We're resolving problems here. That's what your performing is about. Now, the adjourning. That's where you start to do your evaluations. What's worked well? How can we modify? How can we enhance? Let's debrief. Let's look at future projects. How could we use that in an online format? How can we use this remotely? All those ideas come out of at that adjourning stage. And it gives recognition also to all those that contributed. So don't forget that is in one of your assessment tasks. So don't forget your virtual networking, your online network areas that you can. Now, professional ones, looking here with LinkedIn, there's different areas of Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest that actually have business sides to them. Facebook has business mixed up in different areas as well. But don't forget, you can look for the professional stations of those areas. Right. So let's have a look at professional networking online, which is actually quite a good tool now to think that the way now that we operate is different. And we actually access different resources now quite differently. And that's changed in the last few years. So let me just get there. Just going to pause record because we don't record. Right. What's the main message coming from there? Anybody?
Sorry. Be consistent.
Yes. Yes. Anybody else?
I would say that when you're networking, not to be just thinking about what you're going to get out of it, but what the other person might want out of the relationship as well.
Yes, mutual gain, mutual win-win. Yep, definitely. Kathleen?
Being generous with your sharing, but maintaining professionalism.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Good work. Thank you. All right, let's move on. So, legal and ethical considerations to do with networking and collaborating. You must always follow your organization's social media policies. Don't forget that, because if you don't follow those protocols, you can actually have an instant dismissal or organizational disciplinary action happen. So this is where you've gone outside the boundaries of what you've posted. It could be something that could actually make your reputation look different. Could be some comment that you've made about another organization. You cannot do that, because the bounds of what they hold with your organization, they'll actually talk to you about the legislation that they have there. You can't use copyright. There's different laws around copyright. So using content from another network's information, you have to make sure you get everything passed by copyright. Even though you're networking and sharing with another organization, you have to make sure that you've passed those bylaws as well. You have to make sure that client confidentiality, the legal requirement that you're sharing networking information around privacy laws, governance in your industry. You have to be aware of gossip if you're networking. We talked about keeping that language and connections respectful and professional. Gossip can happen quite quickly. That actually puts a negativity upon something, and then something becomes more exaggerated, and you can actually have actual disciplinary action taken against you, because they can look at it as slander. And slander is a negative attitude or verbal words about something, and it can be a legal issue, and you can be sued. Organizations' reputations, you don't want to damage that company by doing something that's against the legal and ethical considerations here. This is all in page 23 of your learner guide, but this is very important that when you do your onboarding, if they're talking about your obligations around social media, the way you interact, communicate, there'll be a communication policy as well. Copyright, copying other work, there'll be laws around everything that you can and can't do, and it should be in your induction when you join a new organization. So collaborations, what types are there? What are the 4 types of collaborations? You have a situation of 2 or more people working together to create or achieve the same thing. Now, with 4 types of collaborations, communication orientated. That is where fits most teams to communicate one-on-one and in group work, but that's face-to-face. Often task-orientated collaboration. So in this style, this revolves around a specific task or a goal or a project that a group of network organizations have come together for. So as an example, that could be what a community alliance group. So in one certain area in Queensland here, all the housing services, job network services, and emergency relief services all formed a networking group together, and they meet once a week, and they're called an alliance. And that alliance supports each other's with information and sharing of resources, but they have a project, and that was around affordable accommodation in Southeast Queensland. So they're putting together proposals to try and look at affordable accommodation in areas that already have some sort of structure. So they have a goal, they have a purpose, they have a reason to be together, they've got a common aim together. So that's task orientated. So a network orientated collaboration, that is around seeking other people to be networking and sharing information and resources, and a community orientated collaboration. Can anybody give me the understanding of what a community orientated collaboration would be about? Anybody know? You think of community, Kath?
Things like being fire prepared, bushfire prepared.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, you
That's
know,
a
disaster.
collaborations for safety and crisis and disaster.
Mm-hmm.
What is another collaboration that communities would come together for? What about sporting events, festivals, services that might all come together to support a common goal? So sometimes you'll see at your universities, they'll have a community collaboration day, and they'll have all the service supports, job networks. Often you'll see some of these done at entertainment centres where they have all the job networks, future work projections, and all those types of support services together, sharing information, but it's to benefit the community. Community gardens, yes, yes, great idea, Carmen. Neighbourhood watch programs.
Oh,
Yes, sorry, Kathleen.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. In Bateman's Bay, we have a community picnic once a month. And that's a collaboration of businesses that get together to donate. It was organised by someone actually who's done a Cert IV and then a diploma in community services.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got all of these these businesses and other people involved in providing the picnic. And it's designed for people who are either doing it tough financially or people who are just feeling isolated.
Nice idea.
Yeah, a lot of people go.
Yep. Great way to meet people in your neighborhood, especially if you're feeling isolated in your areas as well. Good. I like the community garden project. That's actually quite beneficial. You're learning things, you're growing vegetables, sharing that understanding, especially with all ages there. Community houses, action groups, outreach groups. Excellent, Philip. Thank you. So community housing can also be a great network area for communities to help build action. There's quite a few communities who had housing that needed repairing, and every weekend, anybody that had any sort of skill come along and help repair the housing. Great way to to meet people, but a common goal is to have safety over our heads. So all these people, some of the local hardware stores came on board, tradesmen came on board, tradespeople. People were actually, the Lions Club came on board and bought the sausage sizzle to feed everybody. So, you know, the whole network was collaborating together for a common cause. Excellent. All right, let's have a look at, let's move that along. So we talked about the benefits, but it's also about the scope of service. That actually changes broadly for a lot of services. That scope of service can actually change and grow and develop. So it's about synergy. Synergy is the ability of a group to outperform even at its best individual member. Just have a think about that one. So partners, the roles, the George Street, this is a case study for the George Street Neighbourhood Centre Association. And we're going to do a little activity here in our groups where you're going to have a look at this PDF. I'm just going to copy and paste that and put that in the chat. Right, see if that link works, and it should take you to the George Street Neighbourhood Centre. Let's see if that link works.
Oh, the page showed up as it doesn't work.
So it's an area. Yeah, I thought it might. Okay. Thought it might be too old. I know sometimes those pages get taken down after a few months. Okay, it's okay. We will keep moving on. We'll find another activity. Excuse me. So there are different models of collaboration which actually have different aims in all communities. This is a part of your assessment task work here, everyone. And understanding what these each one does. And I'm going to see if we can actually, excuse me. Right. Can you tell me if that link works, please?
It's an error.
No? Not working. Gosh.
No, it doesn't work.
Don't know what's going on. Let me just stop share. I'll just. Community door practice models. Okay, all right. I have the right address. Right, let's try that one. Is that taking it to? Great. Okay, I'll go back to the task and just share that again. Keep those links open. So we're looking for these collaboration models, and we're looking for a definition of what each one is. You're going to need this for your task work. So do this in Teams, and I'm going to set up the collaborate rooms there. Just let me see. Sorry, Ben's coming there, Michael. Okay, let me just.
So we've changed the position of the shark. That looks insane. It's actually something so good.
All righty. So welcome back, everyone. If you could put your mics on mute, that'd be great. Thank you. Just hearing some background noise from some lounge rooms there. Okay. I hope you've been able to find some of your information on collaboration models. Very important for your assessment work. Let's go and we're just going to have a short one this break, because we're going to come back and unpack some of the task work here for this assessment. So let's have, we're just going to look at about 8 minutes this time, and then we'll come back and unpack and try and finish by 9. Okay. Okay. Just want to finish off by sharing just a couple of more slides, and then we'll go to look at the tasks. So I wanted to also just go over the SWOT analysis that you can actually do in a collaboration. And that's about the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So when you're looking at the stages of the different projects that you might do within organizations, a SWOT is a great way to analyze the project. What are the things that are working well? What's the strengths here? What are some of the gaps that we have that we still need to fill? What are some of the actual opportunities we didn't think of that have been accidental opportunities by forming this collaboration and working on a project? And what are some of the things that actually could make it fall down? And the drawbacks of collaborations. Often, this is something that might have to go back to the storming stage to get through in your collaborations, in your group forming. And when you're storming, norming, performing, sometimes the storming comes back in due to different attitudes and beliefs. And being able to reach a consensus can actually sometimes make a decision really slow to get there, because there could be one or two people that just do not agree, and it's hard. Or you might have 6 people, 3 against, 3 for something, trying to get that at consensus and get a balance of opinion and get something that's actually working better, and get the numbers up before you can make decisions can take time. That can actually reduce autonomy and flexibility within the program as well. One of the things that actually highlights that I remember was happening was the group dynamics of people and the different ways people work together. And it's very interesting to see how people would operate all in a professional way, but different expectations that they had of something and how it was going to work and how it was going to come out. Also too, all right, that how things actually worked, how things actually conflicted with styles as well, different people, the way they performed, how they communicated. And that actually could cause a bit of, not so much conflict, but it caused a disruption to the flow of connection of people together. There could be too many chiefs when you're working together as well. And one of the biggest problem is around funding. And when funding gets taken away from you, or funding, the requirements of what funding does, and that actually can disrupt what's happening or quite often. And then you're left trying to find how to move on from there. Yeah, and that's true. Philip's just put in the message, man. A lot of people with organizations, actually, you're all tracing the one funding. So, you know, you think of the gaming funding, the government pockets of money that come out in different areas. And there are a lot of advocacy units and organizations and neighborhood centers all vying for one pocket of government funding that's meant to be for housing or community service, emergency relief, sporting funding projects. That money vied for by all different levels. And in some cases, it's actually not fair, because some of the organizations are quite big, so they can employ more people to do the writing of the paperwork and putting in those plans for funding as well. So it changes the projection of something as well. So something to consider there. All right, I'm just going to stop share there, and I'm just going to bring up my my resource for let me just go and grab it. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to find my resource for the task. Okay. Okay, I'm going to share my screen.
Helen,
Yep,
it's Kathy on.
yep.
Oh, I just started doing the quiz on legal and ethical considerations just on my phone while I was waiting. And it said identifies what's being described. And you could choose between collaboration, networking, copyright, intellectual property. So I picked networking. So networking is about sharing ideas, information, and experience between individuals working in the same or similar industries. I chose networking. And it came up and it said incorrect. Networking is about sharing ideas, information, and experience between individuals working in the same or similar industries.
Okay, so you're doing the quiz in the
confusing.
knowledge questions. Yep. Some of those responses don't come out. No. Yeah. So that's the knowledge questions in your learner guide.
Right.
And they often can have conflicting answers because what you just said was correct. Yeah. So yeah.
Totally correct.
So
and told me I was incorrect. Yeah.
Computer generated responses as well. We found a few things happening like that. But it seems to be word specific in there. And it seems to be whatever it's in the learner guide will be directly that word specific in that area. But those modules there, those are, sorry, they're not modules, they're knowledge questions and little quizzes and things like that. Don't forget, they don't count towards your assessment. They're just to build your knowledge.
Yeah, it'd be good if they were right. Anyway, thanks.
The first one she tries and it comes up.
Yeah, totally.
All right. So task 1 in PRP001 is a quiz and you have a set of questions. This is where it's an open book. So you can actually have 2 screens up, one with your learner guide and one with your quiz, because it is an open book quiz. And you can have the answers from the learner guide. It's great if you can put them in your own words, but that you can go directly to the learner guide and get those answers out. Task 2. Two of 4 role play. So for task A, when you're doing a role play, you go in and collect your resources first. So you're not going backwards and forwards. So in this one, you have an individual support plan to collect. And this is a demonstration of what an email looks like in the services from John Ford from First Access. Now, you must email John Ford using the template from First Access website And your email must include the following: a summary of Lynn's goals, each goal in order, review the processes offered by first access. Oops, get that up there. Outline the gaps in services for Lynn and identify 3 needs areas that you need first access to collaborate on. And this is where you actually upload a file. Now, to go back in to find out where we need to go to first access, come over here and have a look at the overview. Oh, it's not going to let me. Come on, you do it. Play nicely. Here we go. So you have all the information here on Lynn Lee and her mother. So you have to review the services for Lynn, and there's some gaps in the needs here for Lynn, okay? So what you need to do first, if you get that support plan and download it, it will show you, let me see if I can bring that up. This is what the support plan looks like. And it has all the information about Lynn. And this is where you'll get the information from to be able to respond to the email. I suggest, if you can, print these out so you can sit there and highlight all the areas of need. So let's just start off with 16-year-old girl, mild learning difficulty, recent diagnosis of depression and anxiety, only intermittently attended school over 2 years, has suspended for swearing and throwing, largely stayed at home, no physical health concerns. Now start to pick out the positives. Enjoys cooking and gardening, craft, talented artist. So this is why I say it's really good to be able to print these off or copy and paste that and put it into a Word document so you can work with it and really dissect all the things that are in there, because it'll be important for you to be able to respond to the email and respond to the criteria. This talks about the action that's been taken to help her so far. And let's go down here. Some of the goals that she wants to make. And you have goal 1, 2, and 3. So she wants to manage her anger, make contact with old friends. So this plan has all, this support plan has all the information you need to be able to respond to the question. To this. Take your time with it, but here's the summary. Can you now complete the following? Give a summary of that support plan. What are the goals? What order are they in? What services were offered by First Access? And did they actually meet Lynn's goals? What are 3 gaps in the service there? Now, who could be another service group that might fill those gaps? So this is what we're talking about. Networking, use other resources. And then describe how collaborating can support Lynn's goals and your professional development. We've talked about that in class tonight. Resources and support for clients, participants, opportunities for us to share new knowledge, gain new skills from others, work opportunities. Think about those. And need some impacting on what's happening that's impacting on the service. Identify and explain 2 organizational needs and rank them in order of priority. So what is something your organization needs out of this collaboration? And you will set it out in an email to John Ford. In here. Okay. That's the first part. Let's go and have a look at task 3. Sorry, part B. So now you need to access available from the First Access website, which was back here. Just under that address there's the First Access website. Now there should be details in here. I can't bring it up here because it won't let me open that screen, but First Access has a password for staff to be able to get in there. There it is there. And there's your password. There it is there. So that's in the overview section. So this is what I want you to go and gather all this information before you start the task. Makes it so much easier. So when you go into First Access, you log into the staff portal, and it's a dummy portal that's been done up as a community organization one just for this project. There's your username and there's your password. Now it'll tell you to collect throughout the assessment. It'll tell you what forms that you need to do. Find. So here's the access to following support documents. So gather your CGT1 email template. So if you just copy that and put it in the search engine in First Access, it should come up. Then copy that one and this one. They should come up that way. It is a little bit fussy, that First Access website, but I find it easier to just go through the search engine and then find that policy. If you do have some problems, let me know. But gather those informations. Here's another hint for you to use WebEx around recording as well. It's very similar to Zoom. That's a WebEx to record your role play. You can have a look at that. Then we have part C. Then we have a look at individual support plan for Lee. And then the other, here's your role play instructions that go with it. So when you collect with that, bring that up. So that's why I'm saying bring up all your equipment that you're going to need first. So in this role play in part C, you play the role of a team leader, and and you are advising the following. You're looking at a community service team leader, and you're going to collaborate, and you want to build a formal partnership. However, the message suggested by the lead student, you are to advise that you feel an informal collaboration will be fine, as both organisations hope to achieve the same thing. So this is about two support agencies supporting one client, and it's how they collaborate to bring together their two support resources to support Lynn Lee. So they're collaborating and sharing resources. Often in communities, you might find some people might have an NDIS package for support, and you might be their main case manager from Life Without Barriers. Sometimes there's a need to maybe do something different like art therapy or look at job networking. So you mightn't have that in your service, so you'll collaborate with another service. This is why you have these meetings, to determine if both those services are meeting the needs for the participant. So that's your role play. So go in and find this information. You then read this email below. And here's your meeting, what it's to look like when you open up. Introduce your services, an overview of each role, an overview of Lynn's needs, your proposal for the collaboration, what it's going to bring. Discuss the confidentiality policy between the two organisations, and discuss the benefits of maintaining the collaborative relationship for the organisations and for the participant, Lynn. That is what you're going to do with your role play. And when you address these criteria, this is where it's sometimes good to make a script. For those doing it for the first time, it's great for you to collaborate with somebody, another peer. If you don't have that opportunity, please reach out through Calendly and book a time to go through with a trainer to unpack that process, because it's quite a process. But if you can gather your resources and be ready to talk about it, that'd be great. Kath?
Yeah, I couldn't find Calendly. Is that in, where is that?
It should be in the Learner portal.
Okay.
Sorry, did somebody just say something?
Learner portal on the right side of the screen, just past halfway down the list.
Yeah, in Accelerate. I'm a bit confused.
Yeah, in
Where
Accelerate.
am I looking for Calendly? Okay.
So,
right.
Kathleen?
Yeah.
Can you share your screen, please?
Oh, I haven't got it there, but
okay, that's all right.
I can do that though. I'll do it.
In Accelerate. Okay.
But I'll have to go out of here, that's all.
Okay.
Hang on,
Good
I can
night,
do it
Sarah.
up here. Accelerate.
Good night, Sarah.
Enter login. Learner portal. Can you see my other screen?
No.
No. Okay.
Can
I'll
you
bring
see
that-
down the
No, it's
bottom
okay.
of this
I'll
screen?
figure it out. I'll figure it out. I just, sorry, just
Can you see it now?
No. Can you go down? Can you go
So,
down the bottom and share screen?
uh,
Have you got share screen down the bottom of your portal?
share screen. Yep.
Yep. There you go.
And so now
and you need to find the screen that you want to share. So the Accelerate portal.
So the Accelerate portal. So
Yep.
Accelerate.
One of your tabs up there, the Accelerate.
Can you see that?
We can see something happening, but
Yeah,
there you
I'm
go.
logging
Now
in.
you got it.
Learn
Now you got
portal.
it.
Thank you. Just learned a new trick. Okay, so if you go, I'll just drag this
you've got it
over a
open
bit.
up there. You've got it open, the tabs open, Accelerate up the top there.
Sorry.
Oh, you've got Accelerate open already. Anyway.
Yeah, I have. Quite right. Actually, it wasn't open, but it was nearly open. Okay, so here we are. Can you see that?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so down this side here is all course announcements and things. So there we go, guidelines for external online groups, study support meetings, learner support meeting, crisis line. Where's
Oh, there it was. You just passed it. You just passed it. Learner support meetings.
Oh, there we go. So see where I've got my cursor there? Yeah, and there we go. There's a calendar. And you just click on what you want. So let's make them work on Sunday.
You won't get one. And you have to
Didn't
view
work.
next month.
Let's view next Monday. Okay, it's Sunday. No,
So
they don't
there's
like
Friday.
Sunday. Friday the 3rd. There you go. So
Yeah,
Friday
so
the
Friday.
3rd. And then you can choose your time. You can change that. Oh, no, obviously not. That was all that was available.
Yeah, that's all that's available.
Was all that was
Okay,
available.
thanks. Okay, I get that. So that's how you book a session.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now
with
that's for 30 minutes each
Okay.
session. If you think it's going to take a long time, you need to book two, one after the other.
Okay.
That's
All
if
right,
you
thank
think it's
you.
okay.
Do you
Thank
want me
you,
to
Kathleen.
Do you want me to show people where the learner
Yes,
guide is?
yes, please.
So if you go into assessments and you've got assessments to do, you click on that assessment. Oh, hang on. No. Wrong. Okay, so you go to learnings, not resources. Hang on. I think this might be a job for Rosie. I get it all right when I'm on my own.
I think it's
resources. You go to resources.
and then learning materials.
Yeah. So there's the learner guide for fundamentals of community services. So that's one topic. So to pick your topic, you go to the assessments that you've got to do. And these are the assessments that I've got to do. And I will go there to finish off this one. And it says that it's in progress. You just resume. You click on here. You can go in between these buttons here. So you can go backwards and forwards if you want to. You want to see the overview again, you can. And you just keep moving through. What I would suggest is that as you go, where it says next there, it's going to say to, because I've already done that, it's going to say to you save and next. So every time you take your hand off the every time you take your hands off the keyboard, click on save and next so that you don't lose it.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you don't do question, bye Ben, question, save, and even though, you know, save might be down the bottom of the page and your question's up here, do it. Otherwise, you're going to lose your work. Now, can you go back just out of there to your main page again, please? Yep, one more. All right. Now, up the top there, says search courses, units, competency, activities in the search bar there up the top, Kathleen.
Yeah.
Yes, in there. This is another quick way. Can you put in CHC PRP001. Now, can you see what's coming up? Can you see the learner guide there, Kath?
Yep. Oh,
right.
Kath. Yep.
That's another easy way to bring up your information. Okay. Bye.
It's also got the PowerPoint slides.
Yeah, you've got PowerPoint slides there as well. So you can open or save it. I like to save the learner guides because they actually look at better format when you download them.
Can I give you another hint too? That when you're doing, hang on, when you're doing your assessments, you do your, let's see, I don't know which one I'm doing at the moment. Okay, let's look at that one. Okay, so it says here that I've completed 1 out of 1 assessments, and with the learnings that I've completed, I've done 6 out of 6. Now, those learnings are the ones in that quiz
learner
that you were talking about before. No, not the learner guide.
The
quizzes that you're doing online, the online quiz.
Yeah.
So you can go into a spot here that will go back over those quizzes. I don't know why it's not coming up. Okay, so let's see, that's complete. So it shows what I've done 2 lots of learnings that are complete.
Yeah. Click on the learnings. Yeah. No.
Yeah. So see how, that's it. Learning materials.
Yeah.
So I've actually completed 2. But if I want to look at that again, I can go in and...
Good night, patients.
I can go in and get all of that information again. So I can go through and I can read it all again if I want to. Now, the other thing too is that when you're actually, this is a little trick that I learned that's really helping me, but don't forget to use the learner guide as well, is that when you're doing your assessments, you can go over here and find out what are the types of collaboration. So there, there we go. So types of collaboration. So you can go in and find what are the types of collaboration.
Yeah.
So,
yes, thanks. Yes, I did do that, and that's when I hit that little quiz that about networking stuff. So
yeah. So that's actually sorry. So that you can actually do that for your main assessments. It'll just help.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thanks so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Can you just stop screen now? That's really a good exploration through the resources there. Thank you.
Just showing off.
And so now I am too. I just took you out. All right. So we haven't quite finished all the resources. Now I believe there's only one of this session. That's what's coming up in my portal. But there could be two. So there could be changes in learner portals over the next day. If they're only just looking at one class for this subject, that's what will happen. I've actually got it listed as one, but it should be two. Rosie, what do you have listed down for the next 2 weeks? Because when I've looked at different learners portals, it's only said from the 23rd to the 29th, because on the 30th, we start a new subject.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure I had a look at mine tonight before I started just to see, and I think mine says it's just for the week.
Yeah.
It just says where is it? It's under workshops. The 23rd to the 29th of April. So yeah, it's just down as like the 1 week course. That was a question I was going to ask actually.
Yeah.
So, but you think in the past it's been a 2 week lesson
I got
structure?
told to, because I questioned it before coming to class, because it was normally a 3-week course, and they did they actually put a lot of the work together because it was very repetitive.
Okay.
And we said we're actually teaching a lot of the same thing over and over again. So they did a collaboration of the information.
Yeah.
We believed it was down to 2.
That would be good, because otherwise it sends you into a bit of a panic that I know that you've got the rolling thing and then you've got 4 weeks after your lesson to do it, but you start another module and you've not even broken the surface with the work that you're doing.
So I'm still trying to find out what's going on, because everybody I was trying to contact, this happened at about 4:30 this afternoon. Okay. So most of the people who know what's going on in the background, plus our main admin person, was away. So I did get told that it should be 2, but I'm not sure what's going to happen there. So we'll see what happens.
Next week will be a surprise. We'll turn up and it'll either be
it
number
could
2
be a surprise. Yeah.
But
there'd have to be some sort of special consideration around this, because then that information, they're saying the information, because you can access, I was told, because you can access the PowerPoints, because you can access your learner guide. I then said, well, then they need some extra extension time which is all doable, because you haven't had that extra time to bring all the information together.
Yeah.
All right. So if you can, I'll find out about that. But I dare say, because everybody's across the board looks like it's the same, one session, but there should be extra time for you to do the work. And this is where, if it doesn't change, reaching out for support with a trainer as well. Get those Calendly appointments happening. Kathleen?
I've already completed the unit, but I didn't have a role play. So it looks as if it's just been completely revamped.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do I have to do it, or will I just leave it complete as it is?
You're done.
Okay. Good.
Sorry, Kathleen, is that this unit for this collaboration?
Yeah, I was in another class, and I had to have some time off, and I joined your class instead.
Okay.
So I did it with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty. I'm just going to say goodnight to everybody. Just remember, to everybody out in our learning online groups as well, reach out, lso@hayderinstitute.edu if you're having any technical issues or having issues navigating or finding information, or if and don't forget to use your Calendly link to book a trainer. And if you can't do that, please contact your trainer or LSO and they can help you book an appointment. All right. I'm just going to say good night. and finish up. Okay. Have a good week.
Thanks, Helen.